The actual size of a postcard is shown below. So this is what the postcard actually looks like. Use the ruler provided. Told you. If I see the lines, it's telling me to measure. Measure the length of the width and the width of this postcard to the nearest centimeter. Before I do anything else, I'm going to measure it. I'm going to make sure I'm using the centimeter side. Okay. Now the width, I can't get it exactly, but I can see that it's pretty close to 5 here. So that's what I'm going to put. 5 centimeters. Try the length. That one kind of did the same thing. It doesn't really line up very well, but it is pretty close to 11. 11 centimeters. Which shows the difference between the length, the width of the postcard, centimeter. And again, they use that word difference. We just talked about when they say the word difference in math, they're telling you subtract, find the difference. So let's subtract. 11 minus 5. What would I get? 11 minus 5 would be what? What would my difference be between 11 and 5? Jada, what would my difference be? 6. And in this case, 6 centimeters. So my answer should be H. Number 7. Tiana used 9 feet of yarn on a social studies project. That's a lot of yarn. How many inches of yarn did she use for the project? Okay, this one should seem kind of similar to problem number 2. Tiana used 9 feet of yarn. Okay, so she measured out all the yarn she used, and it was 9 feet. But then it says how many inches of yarn did she use? So when Tiana first measured, and she measured in feet, she made a mistake. She should have measured in inches. So we're going to have to change that 6 feet into inches. Got to change it. Okay, not so bad. From earlier, we know, or we can remember, that 1 foot is the same thing as 12 inches. The only problem is, when she measured it, it wasn't just 1 foot, 6 feet. So again, I'm going to write it like a fraction. I keep the feet on top, inches on the bottom. I know that 1 foot, same thing as 12 inches. I know that when she measured, she had 6 feet. But I don't know the inches. Got to change my numbers. Again, to be fair, to be equal, to be even. I'm going to change them using multiplication. 1 times something will equal 6. What would I need to multiply? 1 times what would be 6? Bella, 1 times what? What would I multiply? 1 times blank equals 6.
1 times 6.
Times 6. And again, Bella, if I'm going to be equal and even and fair, can I just multiply the feet by 6 and be done? No, I've got to do the same thing to the inches. I've got to do 12 times 6, and that will tell me the inches. Okay. So. Oh, sorry. Whoa. I made a mistake here. Look at what it says in my problem. 9 feet. But I wrote down 6. See, the bad thing is, if I had done that, I multiplied 12 times 6, sometimes what they will do is they'll put different answer choices in here that would match something like that, a mistake like that, just to see if we're being careful or not. Obviously, they found me not being very careful for a bit, but thankfully, I realized what the mistake was before I did the rest of my math. Not 6 feet, it's 9 feet. So if I want to change from 1 to 9, I can't multiply by 6, I have to multiply by 9. Which means that I need to multiply my inches by 9. 12 times 9. Do that. 12 times 9. 2 times 9 is 18. Carry over my 1. 9 times 1 is 9. Plus the extra 1 is 10. So if I was going to change it from 9 feet to inches, I would get 108 inches. Which means that my answer should have been answer choice A. 108. Ooh, am I glad I found that mistake before I tried to pick an answer? I would have been very confused. A hiking trail from Blue Lake. The nearest campground is 87 yards long. How many feet long is the hiking trail? Problem 8 is almost the exact same thing as problem 7. Almost. There's a few small differences. Hiking trail from Blue Lake to the nearest campground is 87 yards long. Okay, they measured it for us. That's fantastic. They measured it wrong. They measured in yards, but they need feet. So 87 yards is equal to some number of feet. I don't know. Gotta change it. Well, we know how to change from feet to inches, but this one isn't feet to inches anymore. This is yards to feet, which is a little different. 1 yard is equal to 3 feet. And thankfully, we saw that earlier in the test, so they can kind of remind. 1 yard is the same as 3 feet. Let's figure this out. I'm going to do the same thing I did for problem 7. I'm going to write them kind of like they were fractions and change my numbers. 1 yard. Same thing as 3 feet. Good, great, fantastic. I don't have 1 yard. I've got 87, which is a lot more than 1. But I don't know how many feet that is. So I'm going to use multiplication to change my numbers and figure it out. 1 times blank will equal 87. This one's a little tricky, but who can help me out? What number should I use? Kylie? One times what would equal 87?
1 times 87.
1 times 87. Okay, and if I'm being equal and even, I can't just multiply my yards by 87. I've got to multiply the feet by 87 too. It's only fair. So let's multiply, because unfortunately, our 3 song does not go up to 3 times 87. We're going to have to do this the old-fashioned way. 87 times 3. 3 times 7 is 21. Put the 1 down here, carry over my 2. 3 times 8 is 24, plus the extra 2 that I carried over. 26. So my answer should have been 261 feet. That is a lot of feet. That is a very long hiking trail. But I guess that's the point when it's a hiking trail. You don't want it to be short. That means I should pick answer choice D as my answer.